Hello, friends. If you're listening for the first time, I'm Saruchi, and this is Still Growing, a personal growth podcast that started as a college project and has now become an audio journal that grows with me. It's been a really long time since my first episode, but that just means I have a lot to update you on. In this episode, I'm sharing a little update on what's happened since the first episode, and my best advice for non-traditional students like myself, along with how I'm feeling leading up to graduation and what my plans are afterwards. So if you heard episode 1, it was sort of a recap of my college experience at that point, just to share my general perspective and what my support system was like at the time. This episode is happening in my last semester, so it's only fitting that I do another college life update at the end of it. The idea of a podcast in general was a seed that I planted before I even started taking college courses. I think it was in 2021, leading into 2022, I had discovered that somebody I've known had like a secret podcast that I never knew of. And I started listening to her work and was so inspired by her storytelling that I thought, why the heck am I not doing this? And then going into college, I discovered that you could get a whole degree in something like that there. And my interest in storytelling has only grown since then. Having a podcast was never about turning it into a career by any means. I just wanted to share my experiences and perspective in case someone out there needed to hear what I have to say. When I started this podcast, the idea was to use it as a way to help other non-traditional students through college and give my advice and some guidance to those who need it. But now that I'm graduating and moving on, I want to shift my focus to those who are just trying their best to grow and heal through the chaos of life. Graduation is right around the corner as of now, and I'm proud to say that I will walk the stage with the 2025 San Joaquin Delta College graduates with 2 degrees and 4 certificates. I'll have an AA in digital media, an AA in arts, humanities, and multimedia, as well as certificates in entrepreneurship, social media, audio production, and video production, which is amazing, right? I came into college thinking I would just get like a basic certificate in literally anything that interested me at the time, which happened to be entrepreneurship, because the one thing I was sure about was that I wanted to be my own boss and like create my own hours and start a business that I'm passionate about. So like the idea behind it, I was not here for a degree. I was literally just here to exercise my mind and do something with myself while my son was in grade school. So yeah, I ended up falling into digital media and getting a whole degree, multiple certificates that will now help me in so many ways. I'm feeling really excited, and I'm so proud of myself because I missed out on the full experience of my high school graduation. I had a graduation and I did go and I did walk a stage and all that stuff, but I think I only knew like 2 people out of the whole crowd of other graduates. So it's really cool to be able to invite my son, my boyfriend, my parents, and all these people that I love in my life to witness me accomplish this goal that was never on my bingo card to begin with. And I will say that I picked up my cap and gown, and I was pleasantly surprised at the fact that I was able to receive an honors cord for having a GPA over 3.5, between 3.5 and 4.0. And that for me, I was like, I'm still in shock by it. Just because, I mean, normal students, I feel like check up on their GPA and like keep tabs on that, but I have not. I think I checked it maybe a couple times out of my whole, like almost 3 years I've been in college, just because I knew I was getting the grades that I was okay with Just being a non-traditional student, meaning a student who took 10 gap years between high school and college, like a returning adult student, that means a lot to me. I am not only a student, but I'm a mother, and I have to make an income to support my household. And, for me to be able to sport those colors and wear that cord and walk this stage is huge. My parents didn't get to do that. And now my son has an example to look up to when it comes to his education. So yeah, I'm very excited. Since my last episode, I have been a part of so many amazing opportunities. Like, I have been an intern with the Fierce Mustang Media Group on my college campus, which is a student-led internship where we work with clients to gain experience in like photography, video production, audio production, social media, content, strategy, and all these different things, journalism, graphic design, and stuff like that. So in this internship, I had a chance to do things like teach workshops. And yes, people came to my workshops. I taught maybe like 2 or 3 workshops altogether. I got to practice my public speaking skills and like speak in front of crowds that I don't know, network with other people, shake hands with people that, these are going to be lasting connections that I can build with these professional people. And with that, I've gotten to make audio, I've gotten to engineer audio for them and create PSAs and social media posts. And I got to go out into the field and like really just experience what it would be like to do this for a living and to use my degree outside of college. It's just been really cool. Or even to produce events like the Digital Media Film Festival that we have every year, the Fiercest Fall Fest that we do for Halloween every year, and every other event that I've ever been a part of on campus has just been so amazing. And not every student gets to say that, especially, leaving college. Sometimes it can feel scary because you don't know. Like, the unknown is so scary. And you get comfortable in college. You get comfortable in college in your classes. And if you're working an internship, it becomes like a part of you. And then you have to leave, branch out on your own, spread your wings and fly. No one's going to hold your hand on the other side. And that is scary. But I can say confidently that I have a lot of work to add to my portfolio now leaving college. And for me, that's all I could have ever asked for. Like, I think I have a great setup now leaving college because I made the most of what I could while I was there. And that's some of the advice that I would give to another student, any student, non-traditional or whatever, whether you're going into college straight out of high school or you're returning for a career change, like, go in and really take hold of all of the resources that they provide to you. Talk to all the people that you can talk to, get all the advice that you can possibly get, soak in everything you can before you leave, and make sure you save resources from the classes that you take. Because at the end of it, what are you leaving with? Are you leaving with all the tools you need to leave with? Or are you feeling lost still, like you're not going to be able to do it? It's safe to say that I've done a lot in the almost 3 years that I've been in school. And while all that's great stuff, I'd be lying if I said it was easy. I burnt myself out, bit off more than I could chew, more times than not. And I learned more about myself than I thought I could in a situation like this. Being a grown woman, like in my 30s now, I thought I knew myself pretty well. And now I've realized, and that's another reason why this podcast is this podcast, and it's called Still Growing, because that was another heavy reminder to myself that I'm still growing. I'm not done yet. Like, you're never really done growing until you're done living. So yeah, I was a fool to think that I was done growing in my personal life or the stability of my mental health. I thought I was stronger than I was mentally. which is why I bit off more than I could chew several times, but I still did it. Like, I still did more than I thought I could. When I say I burnt myself out, I mean I spun myself like into the ground by trying to do the most and like overachieving left and right. Because when I was in high school, I underachieved left and right. Like, I really just did not care. So now that I really care about my education, like I wanted to put all of this work into my education and just being the best student I could while I was there. And like I said, making the most of my experience while being there. But I really needed to remember I don't have to do it all, because trying to balance, even just having one child and a home to take care of and your own mental health and your personal life, your social life and things like that, on top of all of this stuff you're doing in school and trying to make an income in between all of that. Yeah, I burnt myself out. But this semester, I gave a new friend of mine some advice that I needed myself, which I'm so good at. I'm sure a lot of listeners are way better at giving advice than taking it. I told her that we're adults in college, and we can't compare ourselves to the 18 to 20-something-year-old students that we're here with. I think that that's something that all of us older students can struggle with, especially feeling like we're making up for lost time and experiencing all of this stuff either all over again or for the first time in our lives. So yeah, it gets hard to not compare yourself to the other students around you. Like, dang, look at all the work that these people are doing. Like, I wish I could do that much work. But girl, you have a job. You have a kid, you have a home, like you have a life outside of school. Like, you don't have to do the most. Some of the best advice that I got over all of these 3 years is just because you can do it or just because you're good at it doesn't mean you have to do that. And that is something that I think about consistently, because I find myself getting stuck in this loop of, oh, well, I would be good at that too, or I would be good at that too, or I can do it. I know I can do it. I can do it and I can do a good job. Okay, yeah, that's great, but you don't have to. So look at the list of things that you have to do and the things that you want to do, and really just try your best to decide like what really needs to happen and what you can take off, because you really don't need to do it all. You don't need to overachieve and burn yourself out. Because at the end of fall semester 2024, I was crashing out hard. And it wasn't the last time either. Shout out to those who were there to catch my tears every time. I had definitely overworked myself. But I got to a point where I couldn't understand why I was so overwhelmed by things that others took on so easily. And that was when I realized I think I learn a little bit differently than other people. Because it wasn't that I couldn't do it, like I know how to do it. I just was so overwhelmed by all of the things that I could do or that I should be doing. I just got so overwhelmed that I literally couldn't do anything but cry. There was one day I came to campus and I just couldn't do anything but cry. So I did the only thing I could really think of, and I walked over to the campus medical center and made an appointment with the therapist they have there, because I knew they had a mental health specialist that you could tap into for free as a student. So I figured if I can't do anything other than break down and like have a meltdown right now, I'm just going to walk over there and they can see it for themselves, because I was really going through it. And having someone to talk to made a world of difference to me, because I could offload my emotions without putting extra weight onto the people I love around me. And my best advice for someone struggling with this is that you don't have to do this alone. Use your resources and talk to people about what support you need. Like, talk to people. Just tell literally anyone that you come across on a day-to-day basis. Don't be embarrassed to be like, I'm going through it. I'm having a meltdown today. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm struggling in this way. I'm struggling in that way. Because honestly, the more people you tell, the more you're going to realize you're not alone. There are so many other people that are going through similar things and that could have resources for you.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark, and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
At San Joaquin Delta College, we know that life can be challenging, and it's okay to ask for help. That's why we're proud partners with the To Be Honest mental health platform, a free and confidential resource for all students. Whether you're feeling stressed, anxious, or just need someone to talk To Be Honest connects you with counseling, support groups, and tools to manage your mental well-being. Take a step towards feeling better today. Check out the To Be Honest tab on your My Delta dashboard and prioritize your mental health, because you matter. Remember, you're not alone. Delta College is here for you.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
And that's really how it's been for me, is I would bump into somebody on campus and I would tell them, I'm really having a hard time today and I don't know what to do. And then I would just start telling them like what's going on. And they would either sit there and listen to me and give me advice afterwards, or just be a listening ear, or listen to me and then lead me to something that can help. And that was the first time I ever heard about the community medical center, and just people were so ready to give me answers to my problems, give me resources, hold my hand and walk me to the place. And you never know how many people are going to be there for you, even if you don't know them, especially on a college campus, unless you say something. Just be careful not to overwork yourself. And remember, because you can do it doesn't mean you have to. Find your balance between school and work. I want to give as much advice as I can because I've been through it. Like, I went through it and made it out on the other side. And sometimes people wonder, like, how did you do it? So I guess the best advice that I can give is, one, don't overwork yourself, but also finding balance between school, work, and life. Make time for your non-school things. You are still a person outside of school. You're not just a student, you're a human being. You need a social life, you need family time, you need people in your life. Like, you need to look up from the book or the screen every now and then and enjoy your life still. And as an adult in college, like, I don't know, I think it was really just me. I had this standard for myself that I would be really hard on myself if I was late on an assignment and missed 5 points or something. But if it's costing me my mental health, or, like if I'm stressing so hard that I can't even do this assignment right now, or I'm not going to get it in on time, don't cry about it. It's okay. It's fine to miss 5 points being late on an assignment if, you have other things that you promised yourself you would do that day. And that's just for me. Maybe that's not for everyone else. I'm not saying miss every assignment, but I'm saying don't be so hard on yourself. There's always an opportunity also. Not every teacher is going to be kind and sweet and warm-hearted and understanding, but there's always a chance. that you could reach out to your teacher and let them know what you're going through, and they might help you out or give you an extension or reopen the assignment so you can turn it in, or literally anything. Like I said, not every teacher is going to respond even, but I think it's worth a shot. And I always tell my friends that are struggling in classes like that to reach out to the teacher, email them and ask them, because they are only human also. The least you can do is just reach out and ask. When I went through that whole crash out situation at the end of fall semester last year, that was when I realized wow, I really have surrounded myself with so much school that it's become my life. And now I am gasping for air in all of this stress and all of these assignments. And it was really important for me to remember that I have to find my balance. One thing I did was started this semester, I took one less class because I could, but take one less class than you're taking. Instead of taking 4 classes, try taking 3. And instead of taking that 4th class, I tried to fill that time with being creative, spending time with friends and family, doing things for myself and my own self-care, because you really can't do all of the things for other people or even for yourself if your cup is empty. There is that saying that says you can't pour from an empty cup or something like that. So yeah, take that time, make that time. Don't take it, find it somewhere, literally anywhere. Pull it out of thin air. Stay up an extra hour and take a hot bath if you have to, and be a little bit more tired in the morning, but you needed to, things like that. I would rather be a little bit late on an assignment than stay up all night until the butt crack of dawn, stressing about it. One thing I struggled with towards the end of my journey in college, I have a hard time not letting the opinions of others sway me. And that goes right back to, just because you can do it doesn't mean you have to. Because people would tell me oh, you would be so great at this, you should do this, or you should do this, it would be so good for you, or you should do this. And I would think about it and seriously consider oh, okay, maybe I should, that's a good idea. And yes, that kind of attitude got me into a lot of opened a lot of doors for me. The okay, yeah, sure kind of attitude got me far, especially in college. And just to get the most out of my college experience, yeah, a lot of the time I would just be yeah, sure, okay, let's do it. But you really have to be careful what you say yes to, because yeah, you can do it, but just because you can doesn't mean you have to. I really need to stop saying that, but it's so true, because you're going to come across so many things that you could do. And yes, you would be great at them, but are they what you value the most? Is that going to be useful to you after you leave college or no? What was your goal when you started out in the first place? Don't let others distract you from that goal, because they don't know the goals like you know. Unless you tell people everywhere you go what your goals are, you're the only one that really knows. So I would say at the beginning of your college experience, or the beginning, your first semester in college, write down what your goals are, why you're there, and what you want to do while you're there. And if you don't know, that's fine. Write them down as they come to you and stick with them. Because you could spend your whole time in college, community college, bouncing around all of these different interests and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, you've been there for 4 years and you don't really know what you're going to do when you leave still. I took some time to really sit down with myself and think about, what I want for myself after college, what my goals were when I started, and how can I circle back to those goals and kind of encompass everything that I've learned in my time here into one plan, basically. And that's what I did. So that brings us to what's next. because what's next? It's a hot topic. I've been asked so many times leading up to graduation. What are you going to do after graduation? Where are you transferring? What school are you going to go to? Like, da 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 da. I'm not going to transfer, and that's my decision. I don't want to transfer, and this is why. Because I'm only getting older. My son's only getting older. The career path that I want to take does not require me to get a bachelor's degree or anything higher. So why spend 2 more years in college when I can spend 2 more years pouring into my business or pouring back into my son or pouring into myself, my relationship? Like, college for me was kind of a lot more on my mental health than I thought it would be. And I just don't think that spending 2 more years in school would benefit me. I may be excited for graduation and the fact that I don't have to worry about constant deadlines and due dates for homework assignments on top of my work anymore, but like, now what, right? How do I use my skills to my best advantage? I think the coolest thing about majoring in digital media is that I can take the skills that I've learned in the program and apply them to pretty much like any field. When I came back to school in 2022, I came for my certificate in entrepreneurship with the idea that I would start my own business. And that idea still stands. And it's even clearer to me now what I want to do and how. The goal is to be able to start and grow my own business while still being able to help other businesses with their content. I've already started on a really small scale, and I'm excited to have more time after graduation to pour into it. I've had a dream since before I started college. Like, aside from the podcast thing, I think I knew what I wanted to do when I came into this, and I tried so hard to go down a different path, and like the universe just would not let me. Like, this was the path that I had to take, and getting to the end of my time in college really just validates that like this was the right path for me, because now I'm at the end of it feeling like really confident about the things that I'm doing and the moves that I want to make. So yeah. That's really all I had to say for today. I won't keep you guys for too long. If you enjoyed this episode and you would like to hear more updates in the future, find me on Spotify at Still Growing. Still Growing has been a production of KWDC 93.5 LPFM, Delta College Radio. This program is made possible by listeners like you. You can find me on Instagram at by.saruchi. If you'd like to share your plans after graduation, or if you can relate to today's topic, I'd love to keep in touch. Programming is produced by students, staff, and faculty at San Joaquin Delta College's Digital Media Department and supported by the Delta College Department of Arts, Humanities, and Multimedia, the Career Technical Education and Workforce Development Office, and the State of California. Thank you for listening. I hope this finds you when you need it most. And remember, no matter where you're at in life, we are all still growing.
My son Aiden has been my light through it all. Watching him start school gave me the courage to start again too. I also want to thank my boyfriend and my family. Where your love and support made it possible for me to chase something I thought was out of reach. Waiting to welcome me with open arms was Dr. Heather Malloy and the Dart Learning community. Dr. Malloy and I have known each other for years, and I can say with confidence that without her, I would not be the person that I am today. She, Professor Adriana Broker of Digital Media, and Tara Kuslich-Stayano of Mass Communications have lifted me up and instilled in me the courage that I needed to succeed in everything I set out to do in my life. These women are truly the reason that I'm standing up here today.
Sarah Maimone.